Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye
Tonight, the show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, a lot is taking place so fast. Therefore, everybody must work hard to stay on the cutting edge as far as making sense of our politics is concerned, and of course, remaining on top of all matters. Tonight, this is Sound Candy Talk Live. 72 people have cast their vote already, and only 42 have liked the video, justified. So from the look of things, the majority of Kenyans think the government need to up their. Glad to report we are back on the main channel as well, and therefore we are asking everybody to join from wherever you are. Sound Candy Talk Live YouTube channel, and we are also live on X as well as extended to Facebook.
You are watching Sound Candy Talk Live.
Good day and welcome back for Sound Candy Talk. This is a place to be. This is another amazing day, amazing time, and amazing hour. And today I want to welcome you on our political open forum show, whereby we'll be having a great conversation tonight, having the discussion over the matters that are raising up to the nation. I am your host Shandizo tonight, and I'll be joining up with the other panelists from every part of the world to bring Kenya to a standstill and knowing what's not supposed to be moved or what's supposed to be edited at a certain point or what's supposed to be put to alignment. I want to welcome you all. Feel free and feel part and parcel of this, as even we are bringing up to get to know what is getting it up to it. We are live on Sound Candy Talk Facebook, Sound Candy Talk YouTube, Sound Candy Talk live also on YouTube. Again, please, if the first time coming across the channel, consider subscribing and also liking the videos too. And also we are live on Shadizo, the director Shadizo TikTok, whereby we appreciate for the TikTokers. Please let us tap the screen and share the live so that we can be part and parcel of this as we are doing the analysis and the political open forum. I'll be also bringing up the TikTokers comment section on the Hydra. But before we do the comment section of the TikTokers and all other people, let me bring you to the matter of the day. And the matter of the day, we will be checking more details on the things that have been raising up recently and things that are on the run. One of the things that is on the run is all about the story of June. What happened on June, what caused it to happen, and what made it to happen. So those are the stories that are being raising up on June. And apart from that, the story being raising up on June, we also have the killings that whereby they're saying that there are few people who have been identified that they were killed. And they were shot with bullet wounds. That was the report from the postmortem, which is saying. Apart from that one, also be checking out the hitting headlines today. On the hitting headlines today, we'll be saying about the story about Kindiki and Murkomen first legit to be removed from the office, whereby the file has been filed up, and then they are saying Kindiki and Murkomen should go home. What's your opinion about that? On our poll question tonight, also we'll be checking the same questions and the same vibe. And also, please, when you're joining up, please remember to like, also to remember to vote on the poll questions. Was the government regime to arise and prosecute June 25th post Gen Z protest? That's also one of the things that we'll be checking out, and also details that I'll be getting up and to. But what I want to urge you is welcome. Let us share together and let us join up together for this day that we'll be having a political open forum show. Please, what I ask you, please join the show where you're watching us, and please be part and parcel of this, as even we are getting ready to roll and know what is on our front, because there are a lot of more in our desk, and we are here to analyze it and to know where is it and where to be. Thank you and welcome back. This is Sound Candy Talk, the place to be and the home of everyone and home of everybody and home of every Kenyan. Please, I ask you once again, if the first time coming across the channel, please consider clicking your key to network subscribe, and God will bless you. Okay, let us move to our discussion tonight. We'll be checking out the updates of the day, which I'll be briefing you briefly shortly. But apart from that, one will be moving fast, so that we can have the discussion of the day. Yesterday, you check about the story of Matiang'i for president. Do you feel Matiang'i is ready for president? That's one of the stories that people have been checking out, and it's the story that's been running out too. Apart from that, obviously the updates of the day whereby the Kindiki spoke today, and without controversial, we heard it also. Apart from the Kindiki stories, we see other people that, like for example, the family that confirmed that the postmortem say that the people who died from the few people who died from their place were shot to death. So that also another intriguing story that I want to check out tonight. And please listen to you and listen from you. What do you feel is it, or what do you feel that is going across to it? So let's begin our conversation from the point of the stories of the people who are shot. This is the video. Let's watch out this.
The mystery surrounding the disappearance of blogger Ndiangui Kinyagia deepens as the Directorate of Criminal Investigations denied holding him despite a court order to have him produced in court on Tuesday. DCI Director Mohammed Amin instead asked Kinyagia to surrender to the closest police station, as he was a person of interest of alleged publication of inflammatory content on his social media accounts. Miriam Nyambura with the details.
It's now been 10 days since the mysterious disappearance of blogger Ndiangui Kinyagia, with all attempts to establish his whereabouts remaining unsuccessful. The mystery deepened even further when DCI boss Mohammed Amin stated that Ndiangui was not in police custody.
So mine is to confirm to Kenyans that Ndiangui is not under the custody of the National Police Service. He is a person of interest to us, and wherever he is, I will urge that he submits himself and that he surrenders to the nearest police station.
Amin revealed that Kinyagia was not at home on June 22nd when police raided his house in Kinoo area of Kiambu County.
Kinyagia was a person of interest to us. After publishing very, very inflammatory material in the social media, we profiled him, we identified his residence, and our officers conducted a search at his apartment in Kinoo. Unfortunately, he was not in his apartment.
Amin confirmed that Kinyagia was associated with a viral X account that posted an invitation for demonstrations marking the one-year anniversary of last year's anti-finance bill protests, and urged him to surrender to police. His statement follows a High Court directive ordering Inspector General Douglas Kanja to present Kinyagia in court or provide a satisfactory explanation of his whereabouts by Tuesday at 11 a.m. Reports indicate that Kinyagia was allegedly picked up from his home by suspected security officers. Miriam Nyambura, Citizen TV.
This is what is going on, or this is what is happening, because it is what it is. Kindiki, please tell me if you are getting me. I'll be happy to hear from you and know that if you're getting me, so that it will be good and great. Okay, this is the story, one of the stories that we'll be checking out tonight, because it's the story that of one blogger here that is missing in action, whereby there are controversial stories over it, and not sure of what to do or what to respond to that, but we're hoping that everything is going to alignment, because the first they are saying that he was arrested but he's missing out. Now they're saying that he is missing out and is not in the hands of the cops. So also that one's another tricky conversation. It may be like the Ojwang stories, but we don't hope let it not be like Ojwang story, because that story is if it could be like Ojwang story, that shows that this life is going in a bad direction. Our nation is going in a bad direction. So police there's the police saying that they don't know where about it. So let it be so. Don't let it be other diversity whereby they're saying like this, but the truth is this way. And if the truth will come out, please, I promise you, police, you will not bear the Kenyans, because they will now see that you are joking with us. You give a different statement. Now, when the truth comes out, then you give another different statement. So please, let us be on our watch out, and let us be careful, and let us be our brother's keeper, and let us be ourselves keeper, because if you can't really guide yourself first, no one will be able to manage to help you to guide you if you can't get yourself. So please let us be on our way. And if this truth that this young man has disappeared, and they are saying that he is needed in court, I prefer like he will submit himself, so that we can get the justice for everyone. So I hope everything will go smoothly and everything go well. Not found this young man dying and rotting inside the bush. Yeah, that will be the baddest thing ever happened. Please, so let us take care and let us watch out for these young people. As we leave that story, I will check out the next story, which is the story all about the death also too. This is the story now.
To start off on a sad note, Boniface Mwangi Kariuki, the 22-year-old trader who was shot by police in Nairobi's Central Business District during the June 17th protest, has died. Kariuki, who was selling face masks at the time of the incident, passed away at 3:15 p.m. on Monday, just a day after doctors declared him brain dead at Kenyatta National Hospital. Emily Chebet has the details.
It has been 12 agonizing days for the family of Boniface Mwangi Kariuki, days filled with uncertainty, fear and hope. The 22-year-old had been admitted to the Kenyatta National Hospital's intensive care unit on June 17th after he was shot in the head at close range by a police officer. Kariuki was selling face masks during demonstrations against the death of blogger Albert Ojwang, who died in police custody. The vendor never regained consciousness after 2 surgeries in an attempt to save his life. On Sunday, the family was informed that Kariuki's brainstem had ceased functioning.
Moni hakuwa na ubaya na mtu yeyote. Hakuwa na tusi mtu. Tunataka haki ya Moni ionekane.
Sisi tutasema tumemwachia Mungu tu. Hii machozi tunalia hata kwake. Sijui tuseme aje. It is very bad.
The news of Kariuki's death adding salt to injury to a family that is already facing a hospital bill of over 3 million shillings. And even though the government promised to settle it, they are afraid it was only by word of mouth.
Sasa tuko na kazi gumu juu sasa kutoa huyo mtu hapo, mtoto hapo ni kazi gumu juu kwa pesa hatuna.
Tumejua mmesimama na sisi. Hata saa hii msimame na sisi tu. Sababu hatuna njia, hatuna mwelekeo, tunashindwa ni wapi, tuko confused. Totally confused. Totally confused.
During an interview on Citizen TV's Daybreak, Former police spokesperson Charles Owino claimed that the deceased could be heard in a video clip insulting the police officer.
If you listen to that clip closely, you'll hear that boy abusing the policeman. But you see, that is not something that should make you... You are an officer. You must have restraint. And shot him with a rubber bullet. And you can see what it has cost the image of the police so far.
The family has called for thorough investigations to ensure justice is served for their loved one. 2 police officers appeared in court over his shooting and remain in custody pending the conclusion of investigations.
To the government of Kenya, our watoto wote hata kama mnawaita jensi ama nani, they have their rights. Kwa hivyo, kama uko na mtoto kwako na unamsikiza, hata akiwa long hauri, unamsikiza, hata watoto wasikizeni.
Emily Chebet, Citizen TV.
Thank you and welcome back. That is story of the young man who was shot the previous week. Now they are crying, and the family is crying too because they are saying that their son, they are doubting if they will get the justice for their son, because with the nation or how everything is going out, they are so worried because if they will manage to get the justice, or the justice will not be there, because they are facing a debt right now. They are facing other challenges too, and despite facing the challenges too, they are hopeful that something shall come out. The mother is complaining, they're saying that we don't even have the finances enough so that we can bury our son. Also, we have seen now the family getting into another debt of 3 million, and they're saying they're worried because the government said that they will settle it, but they're worried that they may be settling it by the word of mouth, but not the word of action. So, what is your take about this? Do you feel the government will help these people to do it? Or it's just their story? Or they just name that, hey, Bora Ipite, we forget about this story? I'd like to hear from you, and I'd like to hear from your sides too. Let us have the communication and see what to do. Will this young man get justice? Will this young man evolve out? Will his body be buried? Because the family say they can't get out their son from the mortuary because they are being inside the debt. So I would like to hear from you, and I'd like to hear your opinions too. What is it from your take, and what is your opinion too from your side? So you're moving on swiftly. Love to hear from you. Love to hear from everyone, from every Kenyan, from wherever you're watching us from. Please tell me, let me know where should we go, or what should we do, to make sure that everything is aligning itself, to make sure that everything is standing to us good side, not an awkward side. Let us stand out. Let us be there. Let us just want to hear from you. I just want to listen from all Kenyans. Just want to listen from every one of you. Please let me know what is your opinions too, because your opinions matters too so much. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from every one of you. Please, as even we are joining up to move on swiftly. Let us continue moving on swiftly, because this day I tell you that there's so a lot of murder cases that are moving around. This is another one.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki and Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen are in trouble Post-mortem results have confirmed that 2 protesters killed during the June 25th demonstrations in a Mali town that's in Makueni County died from gunshot wounds. The grim findings have intensified calls for justice from heartbroken families now demanding answers and accountability from the authorities. Meanwhile, several other bodies of protesters killed during the unrest remain at the Kenyatta National Hospital Funeral Home and City Mortuary, with their post-mortem scheduled for Tuesday. Ode Francis has more.
Grief hangs heavy over Kilome MNH Hospital Mortuary in Makueni County as the families of Gerson Mutisia and Makao Mwaluko gathered in sorrowful silence, seeking answers to how their sons died during the anti-government protest of Wednesday, June 2025. Gerson Mutisia, 33-year-old, and Makao Mwaluko, 23-year-old, died from gunshot wounds that tore through their chests and exited their backs. Grim post-mortem findings that have only deepened the family's grief and reignited calls for justice.
And now it is clear that my brother was shot dead by the police. So we are requesting the government for further investigation. And also we also demand for the justice for my brother.
Tukiwa na huzuni kubwa kama familia. Tumeridhika na matokeo yake.
But the grief now stretches beyond Makueni. In Pipeline, Embakasi, the family of 21-year-old Abdul Juma Okelo has become the latest to join the growing chorus of grief. Abdul was allegedly shot in the head near the Pipeline footbridge during Wednesday's protest around 2 p.m. He later succumbed to his injuries and now lies at the KNH mortuary. His postmortem is scheduled for Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. The 3 deaths form part of a deepening portrait of unrest, where mourning is now entangled with anguish and unanswered questions. The bereaved families are urging authorities to move swiftly to identify those behind the shootings and deliver justice without delay.
Alikuwa kijana peke yake wa mama, na tunaomba msaada ili tukasaidiwe kumpumzisha vizuri, tukasaidiwe kumpumzisha kwa njia inayostahili. Na damu ya mtoto wetu haitapotea bure.
I'm also requesting the government for the process of the burial and the cost of the burial and the expense.
They are also appealing to well-wishers for support, hoping to lay their loved ones to rest with dignity.
Yes, we are still waiting for the justice of my brother. So I can just chip in and assist us, and God will bless you.
Several other post-mortems for victims of the June 25th protests are scheduled for Tuesday, including 4 bodies lying at City Mortuary, alongside that of Ian Opango, who was shot dead in Ongata Rongai. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
That's the updates of people who died during the post-Gen Z protest. And the controversial story is all about that. For those who are still joining, the controversial story is that even apart from this happening like this, we're still not getting the clear or the good pathway whereby we can see that our nation coming up and standing up to justice. These the stories that has been hitting up since the 25th day up right now, because we are having these other controversials and other reasons. People claiming that the justice will be just found, but while we are checking out clearly, we are seeing that there's something that is not adding it up. There's something that is not putting everything to the alignment. This is kind of the scenario that people are still talking up right now. But the scenario is not appealing because the scenario is not even impressive at all. I would like to hear from you. I'd like to hear your opinions too, because we are here to listen from you, and we are here also to hear from you and to hear from everyone that is watching. I thank you for the TikTok. Let us continue tapping the screen and sharing the live. And also, I'll be reading your comments too. Put your comments on the comment sections so that tell me, what do you feel our nation is going and where do you feel our nation is heading to? Do you feel that there's justice that's coming out to our nation? Do you feel that our nation is raising up to another standard where that we will be going to the protest and protest peacefully and then come back home without people dying. Because the first time we went the protest, people died. Now also this round, this June also 26th, 25th, whenever people went out, people died. And others are still looking for justice because after the post-mortem, they found that their body, they having bullets, meaning that these people were shot. Meaning they didn't die, just die in the natural death. So this is the saddest stories that are popping up in our nation because of all things that are moving around. And I would like to hear from you and from that other person also too, telling me that where do you feel that we should take this nation, or what do you feel will happen for these bodies that are shot dead and being put inside city mortuary and others still in post-mortem because they're saying the other bodies, the post-mortem has been postponed. Why do you think that this post-mortem is being postponed but not happening today? Also, I've seen there are other videos that are playing over the death. This is the other young man who was shot, the closer or the close range. And now they're declaring the man is dead. The family is inside the tragedy, the family is inside the crisis, trying to figure out how they will bury their own son, trying to figure out how they will come through and get the life of their own son. So this is also another story that's making them feel like we have been abandoned. They're saying that the government promised them that they will pay the bill, but they are fearfully because they feel like the government will not fulfill the promise. I would like to hear from you, and I'm seeing Bernard is already with me, with us inside the studio. We'll be rolling with Bernard. Also, we'll see the team TikTok that are still joining up. I will be bringing also them on screen also to give us the opinions too. But let us first begin with Bernard. Bernard, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Good day to everyone.
How is diaspora?
Diaspora is good. The temperatures are low.
I also in Kenya, the temperatures are low.
So are we firing Kindiki and Murkomen only, or the entire government?
We were checking first on the entire government, but first we begin the story of those people who died, or the people claiming for the justice. We have seen the first video that I played you are not in earlier. It was all the one woman crying about his kids that were shot. And then they say that after the post-mortem, that's when they noticed that the kids were shot. They didn't died naturally. Apart from that one, you see the Elvis who was shot on head. The family complaining, saying that they are fearfully because they don't if they will get the justice. So also that's another part we are checking out. So we have seen like a couple of some few stories raising up about the justice because the people are worried that they will not get the justice. What do you feel should be done so that the justice could be found for everyone who was protest on 25th and didn't manage to get out of it?
Yeah, it's a sad day in our country that the quest for justice keeps increasing with every passing day, as the people who are committing the injustices are in control of the nation, I would say nation affairs, which in my opinion puts the quest and the outcry for justice in a very precarious situation, that the person killing you is the one you're supposed to go to look into your case and give you justice. Like it say that if the, what is it called? If the bananas have to go for justice from the monkeys, and the monkey is the judge, will the monkey decide that the bananas should not be eaten by monkeys? He will not, because bananas and monkeys are words. The monkeys have to rely on the bananas, and so any law they will establish or any ruling they will give, it has to be in favor of the monkeys, since the monkey is the judge and the monkey is the prosecutor and everything else. Now, it is one very sad, and our hearts and prayers go for those families that are affected by this.
and just give one undertaking that it is said that justice delayed is justice denied, but one day this will be over. One day this will be over, because the carelessness and the haphazard approach towards the killings that have taken place of late is unforgivable. Unforgivable in the sense that being given a gun, it is a huge responsibility. It is not like Murkomen was talking, guns are not toys. We know guns are not toys, but to whom much is given, much is required. Now, if the guns are meant to kill Kenyans, then there is no need of having them in the first place, because they are a risk to life. The guns are supposed to be given for the defense and protection of Kenyans at all costs. So if the police officers are turning the guns against the people, because even if the people are throwing stones to them or are retaliating in one form or another, restraint must be exercised. And then also the shooting is never supposed to be shoot to kill. It is shoot to maim, shoot to immobilize the person so that he can be arrested and arraigned in court of law. That's what the law stipulates. So these trigger-hungry police officers, or if they are like what Ruto keeps calling them, criminals infiltrating the protesters, of which, in my opinion, is neither here or there. The truth is the guns are in the hands of the police, and the police are out with guns on the protesting day, and the police are the ones interfering with protesters. We have had peaceful demos until the police throw tear gas, gangster in the midst of protesters to disperse them. And that is when things get out of hand. And then also this haphazard shooting, whereby innocent children coming from school get shot. Mama selling their wares are shot. Somebody waiting for the bus gets shot. And the shooting is fatal. They're shooting to kill. So what's going on here is a deliberate attempt to instill fear in Kenyans by killing a few. And this is crimes against humanity, just to say clearly. These are crimes against humanity, and criminal acts, especially by the state, are prosecutable. While you think that you're in power, you can't be in power forever. And as soon as you leave office, we're coming for you. And so let nobody think that they're in power and they will remain powerful and Kenyans have to pay homage to them. It is sad. We should not be talking about, you had that story of the street boy who said he was hired to transfer bodies from, I think, some supermarket or something. And he says he counted, there were 32 bodies. Okay, so the government is giving the figure of 19, but this boy says he was hired to try to carry those, facilitate the transferring of those bodies, and he counted 32. So one day of protest, we have 32 gunned down. That is not a country. That is not a civilized Kenya. That's not the Kenya we are proud of. Let's talk about 2 or 3, 32 in one day. All of it because of what? Something is out of joint. And so we really need to get our act together as a country, and all the players must be on alert. The politicians, the religious leaders, the civil society, and everyone should not be sitting pretty. William Ruto and his administration need to be under fire right now. Those are 32 lives. 32 is not just a number. We're talking about fathers. We're talking about future leaders. We're talking about the destiny of this nation. And so it really breaks my heart to have a government that looks at dead people in the hands of the police as nothing. And they treat people being gunned down in the protest as nothing. That's not what belongs to a civilized nation or a civilized whatever society. We must, as a people, take serious one life being taken down. 32 is too much. So what's going on and the attitude of the government is leaving a lot to be desired, and it's heartbreaking that the government is treating this lightly. And the Minister for Interior is talking about shoot anyone who comes near the police station. So it means it is a script, it is a deliberate order that the police should kill. Now, that is not what the law stipulates, and that does not belong to a civilized society. So those people who are barbaric, is a primitive, want to govern this country through primitive means of trying to intimidate and kill Kenyans must be held to account. And so no Kenyan should accept this as normal. It is not normal for government to kill people. It's not normal for police to shoot, to kill. We are not at war, and we are not in the midst of war. And even in war, you can't go out there to kill. You can fight by arresting and putting under control all that are perceived as enemies. But this, whatever careless killings, this is careless and it should not be forgiven. And so William Ruto and his team must be held to account to this, either now or hereafter. Thank you.
We have heard the story of this story that's been raising up, also which are really Murkomen into it's a break trouble to Murkomen because of this the 25th Mandamano. It's the one that even making people that saying that Murkomen is not worthy of being in the office, but he should leave. Even the churches, the church leaders have come up together and saying that the Murkomen is not worthy. And Muslim leaders have come together and saying the Murkomen is not worthy. What do you say about it because of even this collection or the spreading of the guns, that the gun that which was taken to the police from the police station, and then they'll say the G3 has been used to do some murder, some robbery or some killings in Nakuru there. What can you say about that?
The Murkomen is unfit for that docket and other dockets that he served in. You see the way he has been reshuffled around, moved from transport, taken to sports, now he's in interior. He looks like an experiment that William Ruto is doing on Kenyans. His careless mouth that has landed him in problems is inevitable. Inevitable in the sense that he has not learned the difference between being a cabinet secretary and being a normal politician. That aside, the incompetence of the William Ruto administration is visible to every seeing eye. It's visible to every seeing eye. And so what I really need to encourage is that Kenyans should not relent. People should begin to answer for their actions as well as their words. Let them be held to their statement and be able to defend themselves against the law. In my opinion, Murkomen has crossed the line and he needs to, suffer the consequences thereof. If there are no consequences when somebody breaks the law openly, then the law loses its grip on the society, loses its grip on the nation. And that is the beginning of the falling away of great governments and great society. So if the rule of law is selective, we will end up throwing away everything. And this is something that elderly Kenyans can remember very well. During Moi's era, in the 80s and in the 90s, nobody was going to court. the judiciary had been sidelined, not sidelined in the sense that it had been taken over by the executive, and nobody saw that justice is coming from the judiciary. It was the new constitution that has breathed life into the current judiciary, that Kenyans are now confident going to court because they believe they can get fair redress of their issues. And so we can draw lessons from our history to avoid making history repeat itself in our country. So what I see here is the civil society, the religious leaders, and every Kenyan should be in arms against this kind of acts. Because if you have the highest office, like I said, Jesus said, to whom much is given, much is required. You can't be in a national office and you run your mouth as if you are an MCA. Even an MCA does not run their mouth the way Murkomen is doing. And being given instruments of power and being given whatever a docket as sensitive as interior ministry, you are the shepherd of the country. You are the defender of the security of each and every Kenyan. You can't be speaking carelessly, saying that guns are not, policemen are not given guns as toys, and they are not supposed to prepare you a birthday cake when you come to attack a police station. I'm not in any way advocating for violence or attacking of police station or attacking any institution. I'm only advocating for the rule of law. If somebody comes to attack a police station, let the person be arrested. If he's armed, let him be maimed, okay, so that we can get that evidence and produce the person before the court of law and let the judges decide whether the person is guilty or not. But the police looking at the person and judging the person, declaring the person guilty, and then sentencing the person to death, that is unacceptable. And so I agree with the religious leaders that are in support of this and every other Kenyan. Murkomen is unfit for any docket in terms of national leadership. Let him go back to his politics. Maybe being a senator, he would do better. But a cabinet secretary is a disappointment. He's in crafting things. See now the way he's reviving the provincial administration against the constitution and against the will of Kenyans. He's now advocating for the chiefs to be given guns. Okay, he's telling the police to shoot Kenyans, and he wants now the guns to be extended to the chiefs, so that chiefs can also what? Be shooting Kenyans. This is not it. And so I really would want us to reject the proposal and the mindset of Murkomen and team in their quest of terrorizing Kenyans and intimidating Kenyans and trying to put the country under their armpit. Kenya can never, ever go back in being under anybody's armpit. The only place where Kenyans and Kenya can function is under the constitution, not under Ruto's ambit, not under Murkomen's ambit, not any other political party's ambit. We must all be the same in the eyes of the law and let the law rule the country, not an individual. I rest my case.
Benara speak much. I want to welcome you all. Feel free, Team TikTok, let us tap the screen. We are still low on likes, and I will also be sharing your comments too. Please let us continue sharing up our comments, Team TikTok, so that we can have something to involve with that. And Bernard, you have speak about saying that Murkomen is not fit towards it, and the other time back then, Murkomen said that he's not giving out the guns as toys. Do you feel like he's making harsh words? Because even that time when he was saying that he's not giving the awards, he was shouting to another woman. The woman said that the police station has been done, and then he's saying that you are speaking it like that, but which is not good. And then he said, "Walk on a pesa ya kutengeneza police station." Do you feel it's the right term for somebody who is a leader, even when you are addressing the nation, the public, and then somebody saying that you are saying something that's not right? Is it the right way to answer, or is not? Is it, or how it's supposed to be done?
Exactly. The Bible says that from the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. And I think what is his name? He said that the level of thinking that created a problem cannot be useful in solving the same problem. We'll need a better thinking that is higher than that to solve the problem. We're in this crisis because of the decisions of Murkomen and his team. Okay, remember the police and the security sector is under his charge. And so that level of thinking that has created the shooting, the police who are shooting to kill, that has created an environment where the safety of Kenyans is not a priority and the welfare of Kenyans is not a big deal, cannot be now the one we are going to get the solution. He's talking like that because he's defeated. He's talking like that because he has run out of options. Having money to build a police station, or rather restoring a police station, should not be an issue for the public in the first place. What happens? What caused the people to go and lynch a police station? When the police station was when there was planning for the lynching of the police station or torching of the police station, where was the NIS? Because NIS is supposed to get that information and hand it to the required people. And then the people who are coming to ban the police station should find the police ready so that they can abort the intended ill against a police station. Murkomen going to the public to tell them that the money to build or restore a police station is not available, it's a manifestation of his incompetence. It shows that he doesn't know what he's doing. He has been given a docket that is too big for him, and he's there to be he's there to, you know, to earn the salary. Let me just put it clear. He's there to make the money, but not to safeguard Kenyans. One thing I can see from the William Ruto administration is that they want to be babysit by Kenyans. They were given responsibility to take care of Kenyans, protect Kenyans, see to it that everything is well with Kenyans. It is their responsibility. But now they have turned that upside down, whereby they want Kenyans to protect them. They want Kenyans to shield them. They want Kenyans to worship them. That's not the whole essence of them being in power. The number one reason why they are in power is to facilitate the welfare of Kenya. Now, turning their guns against Kenyans, it is contravening everything about them being in power for the right reasons. So telling a woman that she doesn't have, does she have the money to build a police station? The issue here is not even a police station. We can close all police stations for the 32 lives, if that figure is anything to go with. One life of a Kenyan being lost is too higher price than any building of any police station. So if the lives being lost is not important to Murkomen, and the only thing important to Murkomen is a police station, Murkomen should be locked up in a police station. Let him stay in the police station, since he wants police station to be more valuable and more important than the lives of Kenyans. We cannot have that as a standard of checking things. I mean, let's get our priorities right. Protecting lives and preserving lives is priority over anything and everything. We don't even need State House. We don't need Parliament. We don't need any of these things if they are endangering one Kenyan life. So if a police station is not being used to protect the people, that police station is not necessary. And I'm not sending anybody to go and ban any police station. But if Murkomen is talking like that, then Murkomen is the problem. Let us not look for another problem. Murkomen is the problem. let him be solved by being fired. We don't need those kind of people in public office. And how do I now, if now I'm threatened, how do I now run to Murkomen and say somebody is threatening my life? It is more dangerous to run to Murkomen because Murkomen has given out guns and he has told the police those guns are not toys and use them to take on Kenyans. That's irresponsible. We can't have that kind of thinking. And so left for me, Murkomen should not be in that office one more day. And not only that, the Ruto administration is a disappointment. And I saw something like Ruto has been voted for to be the best president in Africa. I don't know. Okay.
Before bringing in Jakindo, let us watch this. This happened today at Kibra's law court, whereby those people were taken to the court so that they were being alleged that they caused destruction during the Mandamano. They stand still to condemn or to stand still to defend themselves because they were standing up for the rights of Kenyans. Let's watch out this before we come back to the story of taking Murkomen out of the store, out of the office.
29 individuals accused of orchestrating and inciting violence during last week's protest were on Monday arraigned in court across Nairobi, that's in Kiambu and Nyandarua, to face charges linked to the June 25th demonstration. In Nairobi, 3 prominent activists were presented before court and will remain in custody until Wednesday, when a ruling on their bail application is expected. And as Citizen TV's Ben Kirui now reports, drama unfolded at the Kibra law courts just before the hearing as fellow activists packed the courtroom and broke into freedom songs, a defiant show of solidarity that briefly disrupted proceedings in other courts.
They broke into liberation songs inside the Kibra law courts just moments before the case against the 3 detained activists was set to begin. The chants echoed through the corridors, disrupting proceedings in neighboring courtrooms and prompting High Court Judge Diana Kavedza to intervene and restore order.
This is a court of law. And how do we know, how do we behave when we go to any court in the country? We keep quiet because we respect the crown. It is always silence in court, isn't it? Yes. I am actually urging you that as you stand here, you will get justice. This is a court of justice.
The vocal show of solidarity came after a delay in producing the suspects John Mulingwa Nzau, also known as Garang, Mark Amiani, popularly referred to as Generali, and Francis Mutunge Mwangi, Elias Chebukati. Despite their eventual arrival, the chants continue to reverberate through the courtroom.
Viva fighters, viva! Viva fighters, viva! Viva fighters, long live!
The trio is accused of involvement in violent arrest that erupted during anti-government protest on June 25th. Authorities arrested them on the night of June 27th aboard a bus bound for Mombasa. Prosecutors allege the men were attempting to flee justice and are seeking 21 days to detain them further as investigations continue. They face multiple charges, including arson, theft, and malicious damage to property.
We urge you to find that the prosecution has established sufficient basis. In other words, appropriate justification for this court to order that each of the respondents is held further to enable us complete our investigations.
However, defense lawyers maintain their clients are innocent, describing them as well-known human rights defenders with no links to the alleged offenses.
I have had a laughable argument that has been made that they were caught in a bus going to Mombasa and they were fleeing. Fleeing from what? Your Honor, that paragraph of the affidavit must indicate that these individuals were called and told they were persons of interest, and because of that information, they got into a bus to flee. Mombasa is not Miami. It is within the jurisdiction of this country and this court. There are courts in Mombasa.
I'm asking you very respectfully, rise to the occasion. Show that you are not an ordinary mind. Show that you are strong intellectually, and save Kenya. Kenya could easily be put on fire.
A ruling on the Directorate of Criminal Investigations request to detain 3 activists is expected on July 2nd, 2025, before Kibra Magistrate Mercy Kahuya. Meanwhile, in Nyandarua County, 18 out of 19 individuals arrested during the All Kalau protest are also awaiting their fate. Chief Magistrate Judy Castor Nduko is scheduled to rule on Tuesday on whether they will be granted bail. At one point, the investigating officer struggled to explain how a 16-year-old student from Uruma Secondary School was detained in the same police cell with adults. The court ordered his unconditional release, but he is expected to appear in court again tomorrow. In Kiambu, 7 individuals were arraigned at the Kiambu law courts in connection with the violent demonstrations of June 25th. They are facing a range of criminal charges including arson, robbery with violence, shop breaking, and theft. The court ordered that the suspects be detained for 7 days to allow police to complete investigations. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
That is the police that arrested a 16-year-old boy and keep him in the cell of other people elders. I'm wondering, as Jakinto comes in, when you are being arrested, do you normally give your details at the OB as they are writing it, the OB for you? How come that you are being arrested, but they don't? The police can't say that you are a 16-year-old boy? Yet you just been put together with the other people, meaning there's something that's not adding up to with our police force. You are so, meaning even the allegations, meaning that maybe some point they are not the truth allegation. Let me listen from Jakinto Bay. Jakinto Bay, hali gani?
Salama sana, salama sana. Umepotea sana bwana, umekuwa wapi?
Nimekuwepo tu, hali ya masomo nimekuwa niking'ang'ana na mwili ijakuwa ikihisi vizuri kidogo.
Bernard, ulipata ile kitu nilikutumia?
Samahani?
Ulipata kitu nilikutumia?
Unless niangalie.
Angalia, nilikuwa nataka uisikilize.
Okay. Let me check, I'll get back to you.
Okay. Sasa nasema hivi. Ukiona vitendo ambavyo vimefanyika, hata hiyo mashtaka ambayo hao watu wameshtakiwa, kitu narudia tena, ni vitendo vya makaburu. Hizi ni vitendo vya ukoloni. Wakoloni walikuwa wanafanya the same thing hizi ambazo unaona wanafanya. Serikali ya Ruto, sisi wa Kenya wote kwa ujumla tuko bado, yani akili za ukoloni bado tumejana akili za kikoloni, kwa sababu kile jambo ambalo maneno matamko ambayo alitoka kwa mdomo wa Murkomen, angekuwa sahihi, Wakenya wangekuwa sahihi wamedemonstrate tena kwamba Murkomen atoke, kwa sababu ni jambo la kutisha, jambo la ajabu, jambo la kipumbavu, jambo la ujinga mkubwa, jambo la kutisha kusema kwamba Wakenya wapigwe risasi. Ni kama mkoloni anasema, mkoloni alikuwa anasema namna hiyo, na we Mkenya unasema the same thing. Mkoloni alikuwa anasema Mkenya akipita popote, akipita kwa reli, akipita shamba ya mzungu, na shamba hiyo ni shamba ya Mkenya, anapigwa risasi. Sasa police station ni mahali, ni hiyo police station ni yetu, pesa zetu ndio zimejenga hiyo police station. Hiyo police station ni yetu na imewekwa hapo kwa manufaa yetu. Alafu mtu anasema tukionekana karibu na police station tupigwe risasi. Huyo mtu angekuwa tungekuwa wote wa Kenya, kama tungekuwa kweli tumejikomboa kiakili, tumejikomboa katika tumetoka katika ukoloni, chini ya ukoloni. Tungekuwa huyo Murkomen hangekuwa kazini sahihi, angekuwa amesha resign kitambo. Lakini nani umesikia amefokewa na nani ya resign? Nani ameitisha kwamba Murkomen atoke?
Ameitisha, wacha nikuchezee video uone. Imeitishwa dakika moja tu, wacha nicheze video uione. Tumesema tutaki nani kwa ofisi.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki and Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen are in trouble after a petition was lodged at the Law Society of Kenya pushing for their removal from the role of advocates over alleged gross misconduct and violation of the Constitution while handling protesters respectively. Now this comes even as the Council of Imams and Preachers of Kenya called for the removal of Murkomen from the Interior docket, arguing that he is unfit for the job. Seth Olale has more.
In his motion seeking to strike off the role of advocates, Kithure Kindiki and Kipchumba Murkomen, the petitioner Kefa Ojijo argues that the two public officers are advocates of the High Court, but have acted contrary to the Code of Conduct of Advocates and in a manner that extremely demeans the profession. That the two leaders on several occasions reminded the general public that they also act in their capacity as advocates, as such misleading the public to believe that misconduct, violations and atrocities committed while serving as public servants are also as a result of them being advocates of the High Court of Kenya. The petitioners further argues that the two leaders were the Cabinet Secretary for Interior during the first and second Gen Z demonstrations in 2024 and 2025, and that it was during their tenure there was the highest form of police brutality, leaving young innocent Kenyans dead, maimed, abducted, with the numbers still missing to date. At the same time, the Council of Imams and Preachers of Kenya, CIPK, is piling pressure on CS Murkomen to resign over his recent utterances, calling for the shooting of protesters at police stations.
Tunasema kwamba hata kama inawezekana atolewe kwa ministry apeleke mahali kama sio kufutwa. Kama hawezi kufutwa basi atolewe kwa ministry, atafuta mtu ambaye ana busara.
Wizara ya Ulinzi imemshinda na kila Mkenya ajua halo imemshinda.
Hii nchi inahitaji amani. Tujaribu kila jambo tunaloliona hili litaondosha madhara na maafa, tuepukane nalo.
The Council of Imams and Preachers of Kenya further calling for dialogue between the government and the youth in order to address challenges facing the younger generation. Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
Lakini umeona mambo vile imefanyika?
Sijaridhika kwa sababu hao ni watu wachache sana ambao wameomba hiyo. Ni watu wachache. Kusema Kenya mzima, watu wa Kenya hawakuona. Kenya mzima imeona. Kila sehemu ya Kenya ingetisha hao watu watoke. Hiyo ndio vile sisi sasa tunapiga sauti hapa. Kila mmoja angepiga sauti watoke. Tungekuwa na hata maandamano tena nyingine ya kutaka hao watu watoke. Kwa sababu tusipolinda hizi vitu, hakuna kitu tutapata kwa urahisi. Tusipolinda hizi, wewe wakati tulikuwa tunataka multi-party section 2A ulikuwa bado hujazaliwa, sivyo? Uliona? Hukuiona. So section 2A tulikuwa tunapangiwa polisi, lakini tulikuwa bado tunaenda. Tunaambiwa maandamano yalikuwa mabaya, hayahitajiki, lakini tulikuwa bado tunaenda tu. Hiyo ndio serikali za kikaburu kama hizi zetu zinasikia. Haiwezi kusikia ati mnaenda maandamano kama juzi maandamano alafu imekatika. Hiyo hawasikii. Wanataka ile maandamano ya kila siku maandamano. Hiyo ndio na section 2A tulipata kwa sababu ya maandamano ya kila siku. Walishika watu, walifanya nini, lakini hayo maandamano bado tulienda. So hii ilikuwa inatakikana watu wote wa Kenya wote. Hapo ndipo tunasema tunataka mapinduzi kimafikira, mapinduzi yetu, mafikira yetu ya kwamba Kenya ni yetu na hatutaki kudhulumiwa, hatutaki wakoloni. Bado wapo hao kama kina Murkomen, ni wakoloni, wanazungumza kama police station ni yake. Hiyo police station nasema tusiende, hiyo ni police station yetu. Alijenga gani? Hiyo police station ni ya Wakenya. Hata hao polisi ni wetu. Mishahara kodi za nani zinalipa hao watu? Ni sisi wananchi wa Kenya. Hata yeye ni kodi zetu zinamlipa. Hata hiyo kiti ambacho sahihi hiyo minute ni yetu, si yake. Lakini unaona vile anazungumza kama mkoloni, kwa sababu anafikiria hiyo si yetu, ni yake. Umeelewa? Kwa hiyo inatakiwa sisi wa Kenya tuwe na mapinduzi kiakili, kusema hawa watu hawafai na hawafai kuwa katika hizo ofisi. Kwa hiyo Murkomen hafai kuwa kwa hiyo ofisi. Hawa wote ambao mimi ninawaonaga wakizungumza ni watu ambao hawafai. Ndio maana ninawaambia kwamba mpaka tuwe na mapinduzi ndio tutaendelea. Afrika tusipokuwa na mapinduzi hatutaendelea, ndugu yangu. Hizi nchi zote hawa watu ambao wanatuhubiria democracy or human rights, hawa wote wamefanya mapinduzi. Ndio maana unaona nchi zao zina hizo nchi ambazo tunaziangalia kwamba nchi nzuri. Hakuna Amerika walifanya mapinduzi, tena wao walipigana, waliuana kabisa. Hata Uingereza, hata Wafaransa, wote hawa watu walifanya mapinduzi, kupindua akili za watu, na walifanya kwa nguvu, si kwa wanakuja wanatuambia ati democracy na wao wanapofanya na sisi vitu hawafuati democracy, hawafanyi. Tukitaka mapinduzi wanatuambia pana lazima muwe na election, na hizo election nazifuati. Mtu anionyeshe nchi moja ya Kiafrika ambayo imefuata democracy, ambayo imeendelea. Ni gani? Ambayo haidhulumu watu wake, ambayo haifanyi chochote. Nini? Kenya tangu tupate uhuru tunafanya election kila siku, miaka 60, bado hatuwezi kutibiwa. Bado hata sahihi, hata hospitali wameharibu. Mkoloni aliacha kama ni nzuri, unaenda unatibiwa, unaenda nyumbani. Sahihi hauwezi kutibiwa, unaambiwa eti uchukue insurance. Unachukua insurance na ukienda hospitali utibiwi, bado unatoa pesa zako mfukoni. Sasa hiyo ni insurance gani? Insurance gani hiyo? Kama unaambiwa sasa wewe uchukua insurance ndio ukienda hiyo sijui sha, na ukisha chukua insurance hiyo bado unatoa pesa. Tunachukua system ya Amerika ambayo imefail. Wa Amerika wanalia. Amerika huwezi kuwa ukiwa mgonjwa ujue tu umefilisika. Lakini wao sisi tunafikiria ni nzuri zaidi. Angalia katika nchi hizi za European, hakuna pesa unatoa eti ukienda hospitali, hakuna. Kwa sababu wanajua afya ya mtu na elimu, hizo ni vitu za serikali, hizo ni vitu za lazima, za muhimu kwa ufanisi wa nchi yoyote. Lakini wa Amerika, angalia vile watu wanateseka, wale ambao hawajui. So, na hiyo ndio sisi tunachagua, hiyo ndio tunakopi ile mbaya, badala ya kuangalia sisi kama Waafrika, wananchi kama wa Kenya, tulikuwa tunaishi namna gani? Hatukuishi kwa njia ya ulafi ambayo ipo sahihi. tulikuwa tunaishi kwa nchi njia ya ujamaa, ya kushirikiana, ya kuangalia kwamba wenzetu wote kila mmoja ana at least ana kitu ya kula. Lakini sasa tumekopi vitu za watu wengine ambavyo hata hatuzifuati, na zile tunafuata ni mbaya. So mimi bado nawahimiza wa Kenya, ni lazima tuwe na mapinduzi katika akili zetu, mapinduzi, kwamba tuache kufanya vitu kama vile tulikuwa tunafanya miaka ya juzi. Lazima tufanye tofauti sasa, na kufanya mambo tofauti ni lazima mapinduzi yawepo. Nchi zote ndugu yangu, hakuna nchi ambayo imeendelea bila kuwa na mapinduzi vile wanafanya vitu vyao, kwa sababu nchi zote nyingi sana zilitawaliwa, nyingi, hata China ilitawaliwa, hata hiyo Amerika ilikuwa imekuwa colonized, lakini baada wao kudecide kwamba wanataka mapinduzi, walipindua na kugeuza kila kitu na kupigana na kufanya wajiunge na nguvu. Kuna wengine walikuwa wanataka hata hizo makaunti zinataka kutoka, lakini wanaambiwa ukijaribu tutakukanyaga. So hizi vitu ni lazima sisi wote tuamke, tujue tunaelekea wapi. Asante sana.
Asante Jakendube kwa hayo maoni yako mengi. Sitaki kuuliza swali kwanza, wacha tumpe Kip kisha nitarejea kwa maswali. Kipril, how are you?
I'm good. Hello, cousins.
Cousin change to brothers these days now.
Nyinyi ni mashemeji because you are my neighbors huko juu.
Nyingi bwana, habari ya siku nyingi.
Mzuri sana. Mimi niko salama. Tunapigana hapa. Sasa ngoja nataka kuuliza swali moja tu. Is now the broad-based government a good idea? Unaona sasa? Hiyo kitu, that is a failed project now, we can see. Sometimes it's very good to say Mzee made a mistake. Raila Amolo Odinga made a mistake. Because now he's stuck with Ruto, and Ruto is stuck with him. Because you cannot tell me a man that we said fought for our liberation is working with a murderer. We cannot say a man that anaangalia wanyonge says it was a mistake for us not to have taken the Adani deal. Mzee may make mistake, and it's time for us to accept as a nation, and it's time for us to advise him that we cannot work with a government that is killing our youth, a government that does not respect the law and order, and furthermore, it means the agreement that you guys went into, called the NADCO report, is null and void. I repeat, it's null and void. One of the agreements was Musishika Wananchi. Wasn't that what Sifuna signed? So it is time for us to come together as a people that believed in the Azimio movement and say, Mzee, mwenye anajua ako karibu na yeye mwambie mzee umefanya mistake. It's okay to make a mistake, and it's okay to be told you've made a mistake, and it's okay to talk about the mistakes that have been done. Because a lot of us believed in Raila, and he has let us down. Because he still insists on working with Ruto. Ruto is a gone case. The base of ODM is shrinking by the day. Let us look at the people who are flying the flag of ODM every day, distributing money on the streets. The likes of Gaucho, the likes of Junet Mohammed, the likes of Peter Kaluma. These are not. This is not the ODM I know. This is not the ODM I looked up to and respected. You cannot go into parliament and start talking about somebody who cannot defend himself. By the way, I am not going to excuse the things that I've said this before. I'm not going to excuse the things that Gachagua has done in the past. Gachagua alitufanyia makosa tukiwa tunaenda kwa streets. We were on the streets. He also does the same. Anajua formula. And the same formula is being applied to these young fellows. So it's time for us as Kenyans to start speaking the truth and stop being loyal to things that we think are wrong. I question Matiang also. Mimi nakuja nasema Matiang bana, you remember? We switch off TV when we were in protests. Me, I have no short memory about these things. And it's time to call out our leaders, whether they are senior, whether they're junior. It doesn't matter. When they find out makosa unawaambia. Why do you think the Gen Zs are not responding to these people? We've lost Kajwang. Ojong. I expected Raila Amolo Odinga to go to that funeral. But he runs over to Kilifi to go for a funeral of an old man. Yet hapa Homa Bay nyumbani tu tulipoteza kijana wetu. In all these protests, mzee bana, you know, Raila tafadhali bana, come back to what you are. I know I've been speaking harshly about him, but it's time that we speak with reason. We speak without emotion and look at the patterns. Look at what has happened in the last 8 months. Is this just political revenge? That mulikuwa mmekosana na Gachagua. I even think ODM should run for election on their own. Go. Right now, we're not covered as a people. We're not covered as a people. Because the whole parliament is imejaa ODM na UDA. So finance bill inapita tu hivyo. Without question. Without question. Murkomen and all these people can go with impunity. Because parliament will not call them to come and talk. It's just a show for us to see them heckling each other and making noise, but there's never action done. Sasa wanasema kwamba wanatutengenezea barabara ya kwenda kufanya maandamano. That's what Ruto wants to propose. Now if I go for maandamano, mimi nitafungwa niende jela. And Raila is watching. It is time. I'm not going to be abusive like the past, but it is time, because I respect all of you here. It is time we speak the truth. It is time that those who are close to Raila Amolo Odinga tell him the truth. Mzee, umebant. You've slipped kidogo hapa. Unajua umefanya mistake kidogo. Ulikuwa mtu wa heshima zamani, lakini mzee bana, umeangusha chama kubwa sana. A lot of people are exiling out of ODM because the face of Gaucho is there. The face of Peter Kaluma. Hapa SDA Church, hapa Madhari. Uliona Junet alifukuzwa hapa kama burugenge. It doesn't look good. And somebody needs to whisper in Raila's ear and sema mzee bana, unajua? It's not looking good. It is not looking good, mzee. You're hemorrhaging
Keep
party members.
Keep.
Yes.
Poleni kwa kuinterject.
Yes,
Shadizo, I
cousin.
hope I can ride, eh?
Go for it.
Shadizo.
You know, Cosmos was also here. So I don't know.
I want to just comment. Keep, let me ask you. What do you want Raila back to do? And why is he a factor in this matter? Situache tu aende akapotea. Seriously, keep the truth is, we are giving him unnecessary mileage. Right now, let us just focus on ourselves. We are all we have. Can we assume he died?
I'm for that. But there are people
Please,
here who love it.
thanks. No.
I'm
Wachana nao watu bring on board to term offload. Let us proceed with the debate without him. He is part of the a past that anyone wants to carry on. Wacha wa carry on. Sisi ebu tuendeleni mbele, please. Tuachane na yeye aende retirement. Because I mean, kwani sisi wengine si binadamu? We are talking about an 80-year-old man, honestly. Arudi afanye nini? So far, he's been there. What have we achieved? We are where we are now. And yet we have supported him all along. What difference will he make? Tafadhali tuende mbele without that man, please do.
Okay,
I did my best here, but you can see that is how the nation feels, by the way. Even joint China feel.
Okay, keep.
We are going to let it. I wish you guys can open your eyes and see this is how the people feel. Raila is gone. Raila has committed political suicide.
Please allow me to come in. Please, let's do justice to the debate. The title of the debate today is what?
Okay, as usual, umekwama hapo basi. Then
Umekwama mahali bwana Kip. We umesema kazi. Let's do this.
Umekwama bana bro.
What you people are saying and are doing is nothing new. Okay? In terms of expecting an 80-year-old man to come to your rescue every time.
Then we're done with him. Actually, that is true. Thank you for saying that.
He's in retirement. Why are we calling
he's not in retirement. He's not in retirement. Anyway, I will stop talking about him. I think my sister has told me the truth. Here to my channel now. ODM is dead. It's dead because you're working. ODM party, now I'm not talking about Raila. ODM party is working with a murderous regime. It is indispensable because when you talk about Murkomen, when you talk about Kindiki, they are one and the same. So walifanya hiyo handshake yao. Don't tell me they're not in government. ODM and UDA, same thing. So we're not talking about Raila now. Tumeachana na Raila. 80-year-old man, retired, politically dead.
ODM
but the judgment here
and all other political parties. We have had KANU, we have had Ford Kenya, we have had
now mutafuate njia ya KANU na Ford Kenya.
There are so many political parties that have died. ODM will not be the first one.
Okay, sawa, tutakuja
let's make progress, not to be reopening wounds every time, please. It's time to focus on what should be done to fix the country, not to apportion blame who did what where.
It is time to apportion blame.
What is not helping the situation, and every Kenyan can see that. So let us.
But Bernard, by the it helps. It helps when you point fingers and blame, point at the problem. We say, ODM, you're part of this broad-based thing that is killing our people, and you're pretending. We're on the streets together, ODM. So when we point fingers, I am putting the last cross on this party called ODM so that it disappears into oblivion like Ford Kenya and ANC and all this KANU nonsense. I want people to be.
What role did you play in the finishing
Keep. Let us have an order, please, so that we can flow together in as good systematically. Keep have to realize sahi watu waangalie story ya ODM. Keep
we have to, because they're in the broad-based garbage, blood-based. We have to point. You cannot just point at one area only. You cannot point at Kindiki. You cannot point at Murkomen only. Yet, wakona cheerleaders from ODM. Yes, we have to mention them. Bro, we have to mention.
Come on, please, let there be order. Please let there be order. Okay? I've always said, whatever bone of contention you have with whoever, let it not be sorted here. And when we come to the debate, let's come to debate the subject at hand. not to introduce new things that as much as zinakera kila Mkenya na kila Mkenya ako na tatizo na vile uongozi unafanywa, ni muhimu tuwe soba wakati tunazungumza, ili tuelewanwe na wale wanaotusikiliza wajifunze kutoka kwetu, sio kuja kuleta hasira kwa mtu ambaye hata hayuko hapa kwa debate, hawezi kujitetea na kumention majina. It's not the way debate is done.
But you're mentioning Murkomen and Kindiki here.
I don't need to teach you how to debate, you know. So let's not just come to, air our anger. Let's provide leadership. And to provide leadership is to say, what lessons do we draw from this? Sudden decisions have consequences. These are the consequences we are suffering. Now, this is the way forward. Not just for us to come and, blow up everything. Blowing up everything is not helping. Kuna panya kwa nyumba. Huwezi kuchoma nyumba kwa sababu kuna panya. Unatafuta njia mwafaka ya kushughulikia hao panya. So let's not get emotional over nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernard. Let me listen.
Tafadhali, nilikuwa nataka kusema hivi. Hapa tunapozungumza, ndio maana nasema kwamba tuwe na mapinduzi kimawazo, kwamba tusitegemee watu fulani. Tunataka sisi kama Wakenya wote kwa ujumla, kwa sababu tukiachilia tu mtu mmoja, huyu ni mzee. Mimi hata sijui kwa nini watu bado wanazungumza juu ya Raila. Mimi sielewi Raila mambo yake. Mimi my own point of view, hiyo mambo tulimalizana naye. Yeye yuko kwa kama hiyo ni broad based, lakini hiyo serikali hatuipendi. So kama tunataka kufanya nini, kitu gani tufanye ili tujikomboe? Hiyo ndio kitu muhimu, tujikomboe, tutoke kwa hawa wote ni wakoloni. Mimi in my eyes nakwambia hawa wote ni wakoloni. Hata sisi vile tunavyofikiria saa nyingine bado tunafikiria kikoloni. Tunaona lazima mtu fulani tu ndiye afanye hiyo kitu. Hizi vitu tunaweza kufanya sisi wenyewe, inatakiwa sisi wenyewe tufanye. Ndio maana nilitoa mfano, wakati tulitaka multiparty tulikuwa tunaambiwa tusiende kwa maandamano, lakini tulizidi kwenda kila siku. Watu waliuawa wengi tu, lakini tulisema hata kama tunawawa tunaenda. Wengine tuko na alama mpaka sasa zile tulipata huko tukipigwa, lakini kitu tulikuwa tunataka section 2A ilitolewa. So ni lazima hata sasa kile tunachotaka lazima tufanye, maana tukikubaliana na mambo ya wakoloni hawa hatutaenda popote. Kwa hiyo mimi nawaomba Wakenya tuwache kuangalia kwamba hii ni kitu ya mtu fulani au ni ya majenzi tu peke yake. Hii ni jukumu ambalo ni letu sisi wote. Kwa hiyo ni lazima sisi wote tufanye kazi kumake sure kwamba hii serikali tumeing'oa hawa watu. Ndio maana nilikuwa nakwambia kwamba inatakikana sehemu zote nchini tuwe na nini, tusikie hiyo uchungu, kumwambia Murkomen aondoke. Eti mtu anaenda kotini, hata akienda au watu hakuna kitu watafanya. Asante sana.
Asante Jakindube. I needed Maunga na Maunga.
Can I talk?
I needed to speak to Maunga. Maunga naye ametoroka tena. I think Maunga is coming back. I wanted to listen to Maunga because he's one of the people that I like to listen to so much, speaking about all this that is raising up and all these things that's going on with the nation. Because they have seen we're having an appeal that they're saying that Murkomen should leave the office, and also they're saying that they're appealing that also Kindiki should leave the office because they are not worthy of reigning up inside the office. And I was also checking out that, also saying that also the controversial, also the appealing come from the leaders of the Muslims and part of the Mombasa. And where Jakenba is saying that we're supposed to add up and come up as all the nation to make sure that they go home together, not one being leaving up behind or not one remaining behind because they are feeling they are incompetent. Before I bring back to Keep, I want to listen to Bernard first because Bernard hadn't speak up over the issue yet. Bernard, they're saying that they are incompetent to lead up the nation. What's your opinion over that? Do you feel supports the leaders, the Muslim leaders, or you are having your own opinion too?
It is. I'm on the same script with those religious leaders, and I'm happy that they are speaking now. Although the incompetence of these people is nothing new. It's nothing new in their performance as well. I don't see anybody national in the Ruto administration as a whole. National in the sense that the decisions being said, being made, and the statements being given have that national outlook whereby the interest of the masses and the interest of the country is put in consideration. We're just seeing people who are pushing their personal agenda, and right now their main problem is one term. And now they are fighting this animal called one term. It has become now, Kenya has become one term in the sense that one term is now the issue to be fought, not the defense of the people, not the defense of the children of Kenya, not the defense of the mothers of Kenya, not the defense of the fathers of Kenya. And so we have a government that has misplaced priorities, and they are also late in the day trying to overturn what has gone wrong with them in the eyes of Kenyans. And that's why they are running around with bags of cash to distribute so that they can seduce Kenyans to change their minds about the suffering they have visited on the Kenyan people. And so, to me, there is no serious, competent approach to governance being drawn and being laid out by the William Ruto administration. And everybody in that government is behaving funny, and including the people we are supposed to treat with respect because they are learned, they are exposed. I just want to draw an example. Look at Mutahi Kagwe under the Uhuru regime and Mutahi Kagwe of today. Okay, look at who else? Lee Kinyanjui, okay, as governor of Nakuru, and Lee Kinyanjui as cabinet secretary. Just to pinpoint, the Wandai of parliament and Wandai the cabinet minister, or Wandai Mbadi of parliament and ODM push as ODM chair and as cabinet secretary. There is something amiss in terms of proper performance, and I think it springs from the head. I think you need to suspend your capability in order for you to work with the Ruto administration, which is so sad because the way I know and how I observed the Moi government, the Kibaki government, the Uhuru Kenyatta government, decisions by cabinet secretaries or ministers was mainly to ensure that policies are being implemented and those policies are in the interest of the masses. And when the masses were raising questions, those questions were put in consideration. There was no careless speaking of ministers, especially against the majority of Kenyans. So I think these people need just to be sent away, but they'll be forerunners. At the end of the day, the entirety of that government needs to go. If not for anything, because they are not acting in the interest of Kenya and in the interest of Kenyans. And that is what is supreme in this country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Bernard and also other people who are still joining up. Please just join up the show. Let us come up and let us share our opinions too, because also they matters too, because we're bringing our Kenya or our nation to a certain point where we want our nation to be, not where we want our nation to just stay there. Benada speak about the Matiang'i regime during back then and also this time, and also check other parties also with back then and right now, because there are a lot of adjustment, and whereby even Kindiki today say that the government is doing the proper litigation to make sure that everything that is going on accordingly to what is being planned up, meaning that we are not sure that if it's that is it, but we are hoping sure that to make sure that everything aligns accordingly. Although they are saying he goes out, but he's still giving out the opinions too of the government. I want to play one video before I bring back Kip and also others.
No, bro, wacha twende kazi bana bro, wacha tuongee. Let's talk. Let's talk. I have a question. Kindiki is currently the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya through the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. He's a member of the bar of the Law Society of Kenya. Murkomen is the CS for Interior. He's also a senior lawyer, part of the Law Society of Kenya, and the Law Society of Kenya wants to excommunicate them because of their understanding of the law of Kenya is not right, because the rights of the Kenyan public has been impeded by the actions of these two public servants, correct? Shadisha?
Yes.
So yeah. Now, the National Assembly of Kenya did validate them, because you remember Diki's appointment was not through elections and neither was Murkomen, meaning that through the Parliament of Kenya and both the Senate and the National Assembly approved these people with the power that we invested in them, correct?
Yes.
So it means that our representatives are letting us down, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it means that the people we entrusted when 4 years ago we went together, we believed in them as MEO members, that we entrusted power in them even if we didn't get the presidency, because at the end of the day, the man I'm not going to mention because mmekata nini yake Libya. That today Trailer is still my president, you know that. So we entrusted the people of Azimio to protect us. Is that correct? They are supposed to fight tooth and nail.
Who trusted Azimio people to protect them?
We trusted them because we voted for them, isn't it? We as Azimio people.
Do you have a parallel government by Azimio?
No, you don't understand. The legislative part of the government is supposed to be independent. They're supposed to act independent. Every single MP is supposed to act independent of outside bodies. Yes, we come together with a single ideology. For the Azimio people, we came in with the ideology of trying to build a better economy for the people. I remember we were here together, one county, one product. We had very, very, very beautiful ideas that Kenya Kwanza came and stole. Right now, the people that we've entrusted that power to, because you've said I'm not going to talk about individual, I'm going to talk about the representatives. This includes the Kenya Kwanza ones, includes the Azimio ones. It's not. I'm not even going to single out ODM here. All those people in parliament right now, have let the people down. Is that correct?
We want to hear how have they done that?
They've let us down because the laws that they're implementing, the first thing is the finance bill, making the economy run down. Number 2, protecting thugs. Number 3, the 2 people we're discussing today, they're the ones who approved it because they are representing us. We trusted them to bring us good executive members with or without our presidency. I'm talking maturely here. I've not talked about anybody. I'm talking about the legislative of Kenya has let us down. All of them. Wote. Hakuna mmoja wao wote mwenye amekuja hapa kutusaidia wa Kenya. That is why the country is heated right now. These people have let the Kenyan population down. And we keep discussing them, taking sides. I don't care which side they are right now. Mimi hao wote wanafaa kwenda nyumbani. That is my opinion. And we need fresh leaders because these people, for the last 15 years, we've had garbage leaders coming into parliament through party names that they've paid for the party. So what I'm trying to say is, next time as Kenyans, we need to come together and pick the correct leaders. Because if we had good legislation, Murkomen should have never been confirmed. Kindiki should have never sat there. Right now, the people of the army wananyang'anywa pesa yao ya inaitwaje hiyo lunch allowances because these MPs are not protecting the rights of the defense. The MPs we have and the senators we have are all not protecting us as Kenyans because we entrusted them with power. Tuliwapatia power. We give them the power, but they are abusing that power. They're giving themselves fat salaries. They are the only ones in Kenya that currently are increasing their powers. There's no oversight in any of the ministries we have in Kenya. There's no oversight in any of the parastatals we have in Kenya. Right now, they've gone against the constitution and enacted something called NADCO, bipartisan. Yet they're supposed to be kamali huko. This is why sometimes you have to listen to Sifuna. Hii kitu ya NADCO haifai kuwa. Hii kitu ya bipartisan should never have touched the day of light, the light of day. That thing should have never been signed. Because these so-called leaders we have in Kenya, watumia akili yao, they're not using their brains. They're not wafikiri individually. I am the MP of Keses. What do the people of Keses want? What do my people of Keses want? Ni nini walinichukua uko nende nifanye niwasaidie? None of them discuss those things. They never discuss problems that we have in our constituencies. And it's the same with the MCAs, it's the same with the governors. Hao kazi yao ni kukula tu. We have the most bloated government in the world. The most disgusting government. We have people dying every day, yet the first thing they're going to do is defend the police and not defend the citizen. We've lost so many citizens, but none of them will come in parliament and enact a law to protect the citizens that have entrusted them power to protect. All here, all we do here every day is defend, like football teams, defend parties, defend individuals, defend personalities, rather than thinking about what did we send those people to go and do in the legislation. Our legislative should be thinking independently. In the US, in any other place, by there I wanted to tell my uncle Jacundo Bay, it's not the constitution that is bad. It is the people who are implementing the constitution that are doing it wrongly. And that is the civil education that we should need to discuss. That is the most important thing I wanted to bring today. Right now, all these people need to go home. Wote hakuna hata mmoja hapa ananisaidia kama Mkenya. From last year to this year, from the time we were running around as Azimio people, where we had protests, we were killed. Our people were killed. Nothing has been done in parliament. To right now, hakuna kitu imefanyika. Yet we are allowing politicians to run around distributing money, including Raila Amolo Odinga giving akina Gaucho money. Anyway, wacha nitawaachia hapo because I don't want to cause any tension here. Mi najua hapa nimekuja hapa by accident.
Don't name. Sorry Shadizwa, nimevunja sheria. Naomba tu kuelewa swala hapa. Kindiki na Murkomen walipita msasa wa parliament.
Yes.
Wakati wa vetting. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Na mojawapo ya conditions ya watu kuzuiliwa kuingia kwa ofisi ya umma ni kama kuko na current allegations that are making you unfit for public service.
Yes.
If that information is not given or adduced in parliament during the vetting, okay, you pass that stage. When you get in office and begin to function in the office inappropriately, you're supposed to be held accountable for that particular misconduct.
Yes.
So that misconduct, how does it now revert back to parliament?
Yes.
We have appointed Kip as a Minister for Home Affairs.
Yes.
He has brought his CV. We have looked into the CV. We have given 14 days window. Anybody who has anything about Kip that can make him unfit for this office to present it to us so that we can use it to help make sure that before we give him this docket, he is the man for the job. That window has closed. Okay?
Yes.
Kip has gotten in office. While he is in office, we make those discoveries. So are we to blame the parliament, or we are supposed to hold Kip accountable for having an office and is not functioning in that office the way he ought to?
We're supposed to blame the parliament.
How?
Yeah, because parliament has power they have investigative power that they do not use. Most of these people have been accused of corruption. So what happens is, because most of them have their hands bloody and dirty, they do not want to investigate further. So I'm not going to play that game, Bernard. They should not have passed vetting.
It is a matter of somebody achikwe kwa makosa ambayo amefanya. Sio tuende kutafutia mwingine lawama kwa makosa ambayo umefanya. Ni kama tumekuja kwetu ukamchukua dada yangu kwamba kumuoa. Sisi tukakubali, ngoja. Wewe umekuja kwetu, ungependa kumuoa dada yetu. Tumekupatia dada yetu, wewe ulikuja kijana mzuri, mtanashati, tabia nzuri, umekuja na CV ya chachi yako iko sawa, ya community yako iko sawa. Baadaye tukakupatia binti yetu. Kufika kwako, binti yetu anaanza kuteta. Sema huyu hivi na hivi, hivi na hivi. Sasa itakuwa sisi kuanza kulaumu kule ulikozaliwa ama kushughulikia hilo swala mahali limetokea?
Haya, nimekuja hapa, tumekuja kuchukua binti. Tumefika pale, mandugu zao binti huyo wameambiwa kwamba mimi ni mwizi. Lakini hao mandugu zao binti wamepewa pesa wa hongo, wamekataa kuangalia tena ama kuangalia look further to kuangalia, wako na nguvu wa kuangalia kwamba huyu mtu alikuwa ameiba huko kwa jirani. Wako na uwezo wa kujua hiyo, lakini wamekataa kwa sababu hao wenyewe ni wezi. basi wanasema wacha tumpatie binti wetu. Hiyo ndio shida tuko nayo na hii parliament. It means that these guys refuse to further investigate because they are compliant with the same behavior as these people they are vetting. Because if they further investigate Murkomen, if they further investigate Kindiki, it means they implicate themselves. Some of the charges that were there for Kindiki, I was waiting, not Kindiki, for Gachagua. I was like, please. Gachagua was arrested for $2 million worth of theft. Why did they stop there? The first thing they started talking about is tribalism. Mimi nilikuwa nataka nyama, nilikuwa nataka muingie kwa hiyo investigation ya huyu mtu kuwa mwizi. I wanted Gachagua to be arrested. But the funny thing is the funny thing about this parliament is because they are the same kind of thugs as these ones they are vetting. Meaning, Bernard, some animals.
In the interest of time, let's do this. Let's put the debate in perspective. Okay. Right now, Murkomen and Kindiki are in office. The messes in that offices does not exonerate them from responsibility simply because they were approved by parliament. Not holding ground for parliament because we know our parliament and we know what goes on when a matter of great interest is of high stake is at play. But as at now, the crimes in quotes committed by Murkomen and Kindiki while they are in office, are they can they be prosecuted for the same? That is the debate at hand. And if that's the case, then let them be produced so that they answer for the same.
They cannot be arrested. Nothing can happen to them. First of all, they've been vetted. They're being protected by. I'm just telling. Let me finish. They are being protected by parliament. They are being protected by the broad-based government. Let's not. I really want you to stop calling it the Ruto government. It's the broad-based government. It is the broad-based government.
In the
it is the broad-based government. Yeah, there's nothing in the. There's nothing like that. Exactly.
In the constitution.
There is nothing like that in the government. Yet it's being enforced. That's the problem. There's nothing like a broad-based government, but the broad-based government is being enforced to the people. It is being. It is not the Ruto government. You know why it's not the Ruto government? Raila Amolo
the broad-based government, isn't it?
Raila Amolo Odinga and Ruto chaired the cabinet, the executive. They chaired it together. So there is a broad-based government that is being shoved in the mouths of Kenyans. So stop lying to yourselves. There is a broad-based government that is not in the constitution. Just like everything that this broad-based government is doing to the population of Kenya is happening.
Take it easy. This is Kenya, and Kenya we are treated with so many things: broad-based, bread-based, blood-based, and all those names will come and go. What is necessary here is return to the rule of law. The more we allow the negligence of the law or the sidelining of the law, the misuse of the law, the worse things get. So apportioning blame is not the way forward. The way forward is how do we return to the rule of law? What are the consequences of violating the law? If that's not important, then the debate is unnecessary.
If you don't point at the place where kidole kina kidonda, nitaweka plaster wapi? Yes, you have to point blame so that you know where to put the plaster or where to cut off or where to maim or remove the leg. Yes, we have to blame. We have to point fingers.
So address the violation of the broad-based government, not the fault of the. Stipulate broad-based government imevunja sheria kwa kuchagua Murkomen, imevunja sheria kwa kumchagua Kindiki, imevunja sheria kwa kushutu wa andamanaji, na hivi ndivyo wanapaswa kushughulikiwa.
The whole thing should collapse down completely. The whole government should collapse.
Let it rest there, please. Let it rest there. Shadizo, sorry. Please take charge.
Let me listen to Brabad.
Hello, everyone. I was, of course, yesterday, Boniface Karaoke was declared brain dead. Today, he's been declared medically dead. So, yeah, we have a funeral. And I'm glad that LSK has moved to prosecute their case against Kindiki and Murkomen, because as lawyers and members of the LSK, they believe, based on what the law says, they have breached, they have breached their conduct, has breached the code of conduct that protects them as lawyers. And they kept on, they kept on arguing and giving their points that, I'm a lawyer, and I was acting on basis of law, and that really is actually what made them go forward to try and prosecute that case, because it's highly unconstitutional for somebody who is a lawyer to make a mistake and still quote the law as the basis for which they're trying to argue their points. Murkomen made a mistake when it has been pointed out. He's been trying to retract. He's been trying to retract tactfully, saying, I was actually not saying this. I was only pointing a matter of law, knowing very well that it is not a matter of law. So I think, based on what has been done, there's a sense in which you feel that some of these things, we have to look further than just trying to see what happened. History is good. I'm a student of history. I love everything. It's important to know where you come from, where you are at, and that will help you to also determine where you're going. But you see, there's very little you can do that has already taken place. If it is already in the past, Shadizo, what I'm doing now is what will determine, the trajectory for the future. But if we have already blundered in making choices about our leaders, the only thing we can do now is to try to hold them to account now. And knowing our country and how it doesn't work, that is one of the reasons that, young people are saying, you're not listening, you're not doing the right thing. We are trying to say, do the right thing, and you're not doing it. And that is why we are going to the streets. So if you look at everything in context, you will realize that, there's a strong message, and there's an opportunity now to make the changes that we want, either by protesting until these people end up realizing, maybe they will change their mind. I think that's the hope that the generation is currently, the people who want change. It's not just about the Gen Zs. It's everyone who believes in a better governance. We are saying there's a movement here that is alive to the things that we want. How can we support this movement? How can we take advantage, not in a negative way, but in a positive way, of this wokeness that is around us, that people are actually saying, we are no longer afraid of this government. We can challenge it. We can speak out. That is how, if you're looking into the past, that is how some of the milestones that were achieved, that's how they got achieved, that people stood firm. People were getting killed, but they were saying, you can kill us, you will not kill all of us. And in that process, those who managed to stayed long enough for that government to be forced to make changes, because sometimes they're not going to be willing. I don't think the current government is going to be willing to just cede ground easily. But there could be pressure that will come in several ways. It can be so much as to force, some of the changes to happen. And it has happened before, only that we gain and then we lose sight of where we want to go, and we don't concentrate so much on getting ahead. Now we have the opportunity. For me, I'm looking at it and seeing that we have an opportunity to go forward, because like today, the three activists were arraigned in court. These are activists who've come out when we were fighting femicide, when we were fighting, when women were complaining about not being allowed to breastfeed in the open. They've championed so many other things, and we've seen them consistently in the street. It's not just now. And then when we are looking for the goons that were looting on Saturday, the systems did not take care of that. They were keen on the protesters. And now they were arraigning these young men who are well-known activists, who are not criminals, and they have they're saying that these are the people who are mobilizing the goons, Akina Mulingwa, Mark, and Mutunge, those people. They're actually telling us that these are the people who organized. And you're even asking yourself, so if you knew, because you're coming for them on 26, but if you knew that they were planning, why couldn't you foul those attempts? Because on 25th, this protest was something that was well known, the planning was there, the notices were there. So if these plans were underway, are we saying that we only discovered after the actions took place? That is when we realized that, oh, these are the planners and now we have them. So you just wonder, because even the other young man the guy from Kino, the intelligence is telling us that they don't have the young man, yet they went for him. And they wanted to lie about that. But even, the neighbors who had been warned not to speak, when they realized it's the mother who is asking, they came out and said, no, actually the Subarus came and they took the guy and they took things, they confiscated laptops and everything. So where we are right now, it is a question of what do I want to do as a person, in terms of doing this, rather than point fingers or want somebody to go out there for me. People are staking their lives out there. So I can't come back here and just sit and say, you did us wrong. Shadizo, you didn't do the right thing. It is not time for us to just, if we are on the same page with you, then it's a question of regrouping and realizing, okay, so we've done 25th, and this is what the government is doing. We've pushed them enough for them to make blunders. The kind of blunder that Murkomen is making is enough to secure him a place in ICC, especially if we have all the footage and all the coverage of what took place on 25th. So this is somebody, even his own lecturers, even people other lawyers are saying, as a security person, you cannot utter some of those things that he's uttering, because police are supposed to be our security. Shadizo, polisi sifai kufa kabla polisi hajafa. You see, Even that's how even bodyguards work. Police are our bodyguards. So if I am going to die, the police is supposed to take a bullet for me, like my bodyguard. So if there's a threat to my life, polisi ndiye anafaa kufoul that threat. Unaona? Yeye ndiye anafaa kupigana na wezi ambao wanakuja kuniibia, not me. So mwizi will get to me after they're done with the police. But if you are the person in charge of security and you cannot understand that, then even these actions that have taken place are bringing out the incompetence, the level of incompetence that we have. We know they are incompetent. Maybe when they were given those dockets, it didn't suit them. Yes, that has already passed. But now, what we are doing now is actually bringing this out to the light in a way that can be challenged in court. You see, the other times it was, you have chapter 6, integrity, and no one can bring it out in a way that will make parliament determine that this person is not fit. And because also parliament is not they're not integral enough by themselves, so in choosing other people, sometimes they also choose just the same people who share the same character that they have. But if you look at what is happening in the country now, some of these things are coming out. The kind of incompetence that we couldn't raise at the time when we were vetting is coming out in a manner that can be is chargeable in a court of law. So for me, I think, Shadizo, what LSK is doing, what Kenyans are pushing for right now is something that will help us. And if we continue, the Sabasaba now being planned, even the economic progress is being hampered by some of these demonstrations or protests. And the business community came out very strongly after this. And you can see that even that is pointing a finger into the systems that how could it be that you're able to beat up protesters and goons can loot for like over an hour and there's no police and there's no injuries on them. No one is trying to maim them or arrest them. For me, I think that is my initial submission, that we can concentrate on what we are achieving more than what we have already lost. What we've lost, we've lost. What we stand to gain, I think, is much more than what we've lost. So as long as we believe in the course that we are taking, we can move forward. We can look backward in the rear mirror, but you drive looking, forward. You can take glances in the rear mirror, yes, but you can't stick there. Otherwise, you'll cause an accident up front. Thank you, Shadiza.
Thank you, Frahabad, for that submission. For those who are still joining up, please let us join up. Let us, so that we can bring this to an end together, as even we are conversing towards it. Because something raising up that Kindiki should go home, and also it should be followed with Murkomen. And a lot is being still speak, and a lot is being put to alignment, and we want to hear from you Kenyans too, so that we can know where we are heading or where we're driving this car towards to. Tunaweza kuwa tunapeleka gari kwa shimo na hatujui gari inaenda kwa shimo. And apart from that, we also be wanting to know that part of this vehicle going to that direction, what is supposed to be done with the story of like a lot of incompetency that we are hearing all around. Because even earlier today, we had a problem whereby there is one there is one place whereby the the firefighters were unable to extinguish a certain fire, whereby it shows a higher level of incompetency, whereby the people of that place, they complained over it, saying that the people are being paid, but they don't know what is their job, what is what are being brought there to do, or what is their purpose at the field. So that's the challenge also that we are facing all over the place as Kenyans, that we should also address too, so that we can bring our Kenya to alignment. Prabhupada spoke a lot, saying that now we should focus for what this future is coming to, not what has passed. We forget about the past. We will remember it, but not so much focus so much on the future. I see John is joining us. John, how are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm fine too.
Yes.
I'd like to hear from you. What's your opinion too about taking Kindiki and Murkomen home? John, can you hear me?
I want to say that yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
I'm saying I want to thank you guys for allowing me to join this discussion, because it's very important for our country. I am very disappointed with what Murkomen said, and you know, it's very strange why he has to say that it's an order from above, that he is asking the police that whoever comes near the police station, that it should be shot to kill them. I mean, which government kills its people? The government is supposed to protect their people, not to kill them. I think they have not read the constitution, or they do not know what they are doing. Murkomen is the worst CS the country has ever had. Because how do you give an order like that one, to shoot and kill? Yet he's a lawyer. I don't understand how a lawyer can give such kind of an order, unless he did not study law, unless he went to school and he did not finish his law school. He should be arrested, be charged in a court of law as we speak, because that's against any law. How do you give orders like that one? Secondly, the Gen Zs, I think their plan and their program has been hijacked with the so-called government, because the government cannot allow people to demonstrate. So they will do everything in their power to make sure that it does not work. And so therefore, people like Murkomen will use anything in their power to ensure that that does not work, to please somebody. Because Murkomen is not working for himself, he's working for somebody else. That is my take for now.
Thank you, John, for that take. As you're moving on swiftly, we'll be looking more details to other things as we are moving on. This is what Kindiki said today. I want to check this so that we can sum with this story up.
The report now, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki now says that the government is ready to forfeit its popularity for the sake of the country's law and order. Kindiki, who led Kenya Kwanza leaders for an empowerment drive in Kathiani and Mwingi central constituencies, has castigated diplomats, opposition and religious leaders backing the Gen Z-led protest. Kamau Mwangi tells us more.
In what is likely to alter the way processions, protests and demonstrations are held in the country, a bill dictating how those aggrieved and seeking to take to the streets will conduct themselves is not so far in the offing. The Kenya Kwanza Brigade that set camp in Machakos and Kitui counties on Monday for empowerment fora expressed the need for a tighter management of protests in what they believe will save Kenyans from the destruction of their businesses, as was witnessed on Wednesday, June 25th.
The National Assembly is ready and we are willing to ensure that we legislate a law that will ensure that in future, and not in the distant future, that we can have peaceful demonstrations, processions and picketing in our country without any loss of life or without any loss of property.
We have to know the where, the how, the what time, the place, the manner in which these demonstrations must happen. Somebody at the end of the day must be accountable.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki says the bill currently being formulated by the Interior Ministry will bring about the much-needed order when Kenyans take to the streets.
National security is not negotiable. We cannot trade off the stability and security of Kenya for popularity, for votes, or for anything.
The DP on the same breath told diplomats to keep off matters that threaten Kenya's security as he called out opposition and religious leaders in the country for allegedly rallying behind the protesting youth.
Ile taarifa wanatoa ni kama wanasherekea yale mambo yalitendeka. Na katika nchi zao hawawezi kukubali kitu kama hili ilitokea hapa itokee katika nchi zao. Kule Marekani, Uingereza, nchi zote zile, national security is not negotiable.
Kamau Mwangi, Citizen TV.
That's what happened, or that was saying that kama vitu ambavyo vilitokea hapa viwezi ruhusiwa vitokee huko. Sasa kama viwezi ruhusiwa kutokea huko, na mbona hao wanaruhusu zitokee hapa nchini? Why does they allow it happen in our nation instead of them putting everything to alignment and putting everything properly? We have seen the other blogger who was disappeared. The story is just moving around. Now they are saying that they don't know where he went. They went to the house, but they did never arrest him. While the neighbors are saying that they arrested the young man, that they took the laptop and they took some 2, 3, 4 steps. So we don't know who is saying the truth. Bernard.
Kindiki is the face of disorder, and he is he should not be telling us about security and order. I just don't get it. A professor of law, okay? He's talking of abductions, shoot to kill, and lives being lost as a matter of national security. How does that in itself amount to the justifications of all that is happening? There is something about this government and maybe other wherever successive governments that has refused to hold ground, but they keep insisting on the same. And that is protests are the problem. Protesting is not a problem. People taking to the street is not the problem. The problem is, why are they going to the street? You cannot stop people from going to the street without addressing what is taking them to the street. So instead of the government focusing on finding a solution to what is taking people to the street, they are busy looking for who to arrest, who to abduct, who to malign, who to castigate. I don't understand this kind of people, where they came from. Wewe uko kwa nyumba, watoto wanalia njaa, na wewe unaendelea kuinsist wanyamaze. Si ende jikoni wapikie wale. Okay, wakishakula waendelee kufanya kelele, utasema basi hapa mmeanza kunizoea. Lakini hutaki kuaddress kile ambacho kinafanya watu waende kwa street. Lakini uko busy unazurura kila mahali, unasema hawa watu wamelipwa, hawa watu opposition wana take advantage, diplomats. Kindiki should tell us the truth. When there was the protest in America, even right now, Americans are protesting, but we are not having this level of lives being lost. So he should not pretend to be informing us about what's going on in America, what's going on in Britain and other places. We have had in France, there are protests almost in every day. But we don't have this 32 people losing their life, 19 people losing their lives, 6 people losing their lives. This is backward, primitive, barbaric, and these are the kind of people that need to be out of office. For us to get this country for us to get this country running properly, we need proper people in leadership, not these people who think colonial minds and, of course, backward thinking of believing that they can threaten people and they can intimidate people into silence. That is past with time. This time we negotiate, give and take. Umenikanyaga mguu, unaniambia ninyamaze namna gani? Na okay, kiatu chako kiko kwa kidole changu, nikikwambia ondoa kiatu utaki kutoa kiatu chako, lakini unaniambia ninyamaze. It doesn't work that way. And so the protest is not about security, and I think the hangover of Kindiki and team thinking that there is somebody who wants to overthrow their government. They are the ones overthrowing that government by neglecting and refusing to listen to what Kenyans are saying. And as long as they continue like that, they better prepare for the worst, because what you fear most will eventually arrive at your doorstep.
Thank you, Bernard. Let me listen to John. John, what's your take about that?
Yes. Kithure Kindiki ni mwanasheria wa Kenya, amesomea sheria. Sasa sijamuelewa hii sheria anataka kuleta ni sheria kwa nini? Kwa sababu tayari tuko na sheria zinatuongoza katika katiba yetu. Kuna sheria very clearly inaonyesha waandamanaji wanafaa kufanya nini, and those people who are not demonstrating are supposed to be doing what. Lakini wakati serikali inajaribu kutuambia ati watabadilisha sheria ili wadhibiti waandamanaji, hiyo ni backwards, hiyo ni kurudi nyuma mahali tulitoka. Raila Odinga alikuwa sahi. Raila Odinga kwa serikali, wakati alikuwa yuko kwa serikali alikuwa anafanya maandamano kila time, mali zilikuwa zinaharibiwa, polisi walikuwa wanaua watu. Kwa hivyo Kithure Kindiki asikije kutuambia saa hii, Kithure Kindiki anaweza kutuambia saa hizi ati sasa atabadilisha sheria ati ndio akuje kutusaidia. Hiyo ni backwards. Asante.
Asante John kwa maoni yako mazuri, yanazidi kusongesha mbele. Na kabla nimlete Prabad, nataka tuchukue tu dakika moja tu wote. I just want to take just 1 minute and then we do this. Share not for so long, just in 1 minute. Let us do this. Just saying to make this, let us just support Sound Candy Talk TV so that we can keep this program moving on and we can keep the program going on and on. And the way we can support it is we can support it through the pay bill or the phone number that is on the screen. The till number is 516575 and the phone number is +254 718 454 585. The name is Bernard Makoha. So I just want to take a minute and then we do so, and then we continue the show. I just want to see, I'm not the one having the Bernard's phone, so I will see. Just let us take the minute, just send anything you have, if even it's $50, $100, when you feel to send even $1 million, the till number will not resist, will just receive. Just do it and God will bless you so that we can keep this program running. Even tomorrow will be here, we can steer it up and also make everything go on. Tulipe hiyo token yenye tunatumia, manake siku hizi inapanda sana, and also sort out 1 2 3, also sort out our vmix and also our StreamYard and also other things that we have to pay too. So let us just take a minute. Kama uko Kenya, anything that you have, hiyo 50, hiyo 100, hiyo 1000, hiyo 10,000, hiyo so 100k, weka hapo kwa hiyo till number, itakuwa fit. For those who are in diaspora, use the Bernard's number which is on the screens too, as we continue to stream smoothly so that we can keep the show moving on and on. Prabad, what is your opinion about this too?
That's the reason that they've been charged. LSK are preferring charges against them because, you see, first of all, they are lawyers of repute and they're clearly disregarding the law. And so their membership, they want their membership withdrawn from LSK because they are citing the law as their backup for saying unlawful and unconstitutional things. It is not lost on us that, Kindiki is the one who was the CS last year when we were losing so many lives. So, they are like birds of a feather. him and Murkomen, they're speaking from the same, from the same point of view. So it also points out to how this government is run, that, whether you are an intellectual, whether you are a professional, you're just there because, the big man wants you there. But you're not allowed to think, you're not allowed to work professionally, you're not allowed to do what you're supposed to do. And that's part of the difference that we had. Even during Uhuru's time, I think as much as he was the overall boss, I believe the CSAs that he had were allowed to inject their own professional opinion in the decisions they were making in trying to run the ministries that they were charged with. But if you look at this one, you get a sense in which, because first of all, just the statement, when they make the statements, you can tell that they're emotional. If you listen to Murkomen making statements when he was talking about, bunduki sio mandazi, usikubali upigwe kichwa, upigwe kichwa kama unafanya nini, do everything that is possible, ndio unini, si uko na bunduki utapigwaje. You see, it's very roadside, it's very pedestrian, it's not. If you, even the CSS that we've had, the late some of the CSS that we had in the past, Kaiseri, that docket requires people who are sort of very calm, even if they're going to give a statement, let it be a statement that people are attentive to, because it's security matters. It's things that they carry a lot of weight. But the way he was even delivering the message can tell you that it is not something that has been thought through. It was something that was, just acted out, going to show us IDs that were left behind by people who are supposedly thieves. I said the other day that, when you belittle people's intelligence to that level, you're actually telling them that you're actually falling short of calling them stupid, because how can it not even be, if it was one ID, you can say, oh, kuna mmoja hata alikuwa katika hali ya kutoroka, ID yake ilianguka. But IDs, I don't know, in 50, wale hawawezi wote wamewacha ID zao nyuma. Sasa Murkomen amekuja kuziangalia, parading them, And we even know that even for Quickmart, some of the people who went in, it's the police who made mistakes in terms of shooting canisters into that place. It doesn't have any ventilation. So it's like those people suffocated to death, And after that, they tried to do a cover-up. I learned of a young man who also passed on. I think he's between 23 and 25 years old on that day. And, I think a bullet hit him and he tried to get to safety. But before he could get to his home, he collapsed. And where he was, because it was far from wherever he had been shot, people were passing and some of them were just thinking he's somebody who's a drunk who's by the roadside. It's only later when people realize it's a young man who had been shot. And by that time, he had already passed on. So the number of deaths that have occurred the other time when Kindiki was in charge, and now when Murkomen is in charge, and they're treating it as if, as if they've achieved. And the president is actually congratulating the policemen, trying to put police against the populace. And we have the numbers. Yesterday I was even, highlighting and saying, when it was one-on-one, you could see even somebody just fighting off a policeman and overwhelming them. And how many police do we have in this country? Jo, ukiwaona wakija, tukitokea hapa tukienda kwa hii police station, hata kuna polisi atathubutu kushoot. If people were to decide to approach those police stations. What the ruling class always forget is that we have the power. We only donate it to them. Shadizo tunalindwa na polisi kwa sababu tumekubali. There are so few, if we decide that hamutatulinda, hawatatulinda. You see, it's something that you are assent to. We just say you're few, but we are giving you arms and we are giving you this and we are giving you the mandate. And that's why people now obey, the orders that relate to security. If people were to decide that, tutajilinda, so nyinyi kila mtu ni raia, so hata polisi ni raia, tutajilinda, we can choose to go that way. But you see, you're giving, because there's law and order, we are saying this number of people, we are mandating them, we are going to pay them, we are going to take care of them and making them leaders or take charge of our security. This number of people, we are electing you, universal suffrage, we are saying you are the people we are charging with the mandate to represent us. They keep forgetting that. And this is what I think the current protests are going to remind them that we are not happy with how you are taking care of us. We are not happy with how you are governing us. And because we are not happy, we want you out. That's not yet clear, but I think with time, it will be clearer. Shadiza.
Thank you, Rabad. I see you have spoken about the story of YD, because this is the picture whereby they try to make us feel full. I was asking myself, how can somebody come and steal and then leave the ID behind? That's something that I've never seen before. And the only Gen Zs are the one who normally go to the protest with the ID so that they can be identified when they are dead. Okay, thank you. Let us begin to sum up, and I'll begin with John. John, can you give us your closing remarks?
Nasema ni asante. Lakini before property and before anything, the life of people is very important. So you cannot tell us that we protect property, alafu unaua tu ovyo ovyo. So protect the people first, and then property comes later, because that is very important. I think that is my point for me. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Let's listen to let us will close Bernard. Let me Fraba, then we'll close with Bernard.
Yeah, I also want to agree with what John has said. Precious. Hata kama ni ya polisi, hata kama ni ya raia, protester, hata kama ni ya goon. Katika katiba, even if you've done some evil, the law has a way of handling you. So hata kama ni goon mwenye anajaribu kuiba, kama amepatikana, wacha ashikwe, achajiwe, sheria ichukue mkondo wake. The moment we start losing focus and saying, that polisi hiyo bunduki wamepewa, they're supposed to use it on people, it's not for animals. There are laws that guide even how a gun is or any arm is supposed to be used. And the law is very clear. If I'm unarmed, you cannot just take me down. So I think they're trying to create fear so that we forget about these protests. And for me, it only goes to show that maybe protest is one of the biggest statements. They've realized that, these other things are not as outstanding or as impactful as when people come out and say loudly, clearly that we are unhappy with how things are being run. They know the power of protests, and because of that, they try to make sure that it doesn't happen. By one, declaring it, now they're trying to say that they are going to bring laws. There's a law already which is in place that guides how protests are supposed to be undertaken. And because most of the time these people have complied, now because they're the ones who are making sure that the demonstrations are bloody or the protests are, unlawful, they end up having a negative impact in terms of looting and killings, and they'll say, no, now we can't have protests because people die, people loot, people, get injured. But they're the ones who do that. Clearly, we've seen and we've stated and we've repeated that every time, even Homa Bay protested, so many counties, they were almost up to 26, but the violence and the looting and the burning of fire stations, of police stations happened in specific areas. And if you look at where that happened, it could be something that was just organized so that, people fear, so that next time they call protest, you're like, oh, things will be looted, so we can't allow. People will be injured or people will die, so we can't allow. So I think it's the fear that the protests have impact. So I think Kenyans will have to continue to find a way to keep up the pressure. Thank you, Shadiza.
Thank you, Faraba. Let me listen to Bernard.
Thank you, everybody, for being part and parcel of the conversation. And we encourage the conversation to continue until we get what is just for this country. There is no doubt that we have a government that fears its people, a government that is incompetent by all standards and still wants to stay in power by running down the country. And that is a reality that every Kenyan needs to come to terms with and take a position that is strong in ensuring that we deserve better than what we are being offered, and nobody should pretend to stay in office just for the sake of staying in the office. Like we have said before, we repeat again, the purpose of the government is to safeguard the welfare of its people. We don't need a government if that government turns the guns against the people, is facilitating the disappearance of people, it is killing innocent people, and all of it in the pretext that they are protecting the people in power. No government needs to be protected. A government is supposed to protect the people. And that is, you have the mandate to take care of each and every Kenyan. That is what you need to be minding. So Kindiki, Murkomen, William Ruto, the whole of the cabinet, the parliament, the judiciary exist for one sole purpose, safeguarding each and every Kenyan. The moment they are not doing that, they are not supposed to be in that office. They don't deserve to be in that office. They are a problem to the country. And so the reason we pay the president, pay the parliament, pay the judiciary, pay the police, pay the KDF is to safeguard Kenyans. If they are not doing that, then they ought not to be in that office. Let it be clear to every Kenyan. Hatuhitaji serikali. Kama hiyo serikali ndio inatuua, hiyo serikali ndio inatuumiza, hiyo serikali ndio inafanya watoto wetu wanapotea, kama ile story nani ameelezea, kijana anapigwa risasi, anaanguka kwa barabara akienda nyumbani, hakuna mtu anajua kile kimefanyika. We are losing lives unnecessarily. All of it for what? So political power, public service, and everything that pertains to national leadership, it has to be geared towards the welfare of Kenyans. If it is not, let's forget about this government, let's forget about this whole structure and come up with a structure that will safeguard the welfare of the Kenyan people. Kindiki is unconstitutional to run around with money. The money he's taking for empowerment is outside the provision of the budgetary and allocation by parliament. That is illegal in the first place. He is running around with millions and millions every week. Where that money is coming from is not accounted for. And he's busy talking to us about security. There is no threat to security than money laundering and misappropriation of public funds. We are not fools, and Kenyans are not fools. Your days are numbered. It may not be tomorrow, but it's coming. Wait for it. Thank you.
And just one thing, the young man, the family, by the time the parents were getting notified and learning that it's their son that has lost his life on the road, the body had been already taken. And so they got there in the morning. But when they got there, the bullet had already been removed from the body. I think to safeguard, so that when it is, so that you might not know which gun it came from, which is also a sad thing, because wale walimpeleka ensure that the bullets were already removed from the body by the time the family got to see the body. They learned that somehow, I don't know how it happened, but the bullets had already been removed from the body. So they can't really, they will never be able to trace, where that bullet, which gun, dispensed that bullet.
That's now illegal, because a postmortem is not supposed to take place without authorization of the family and the presence of family members, or rather a representative of the family.
Bernard.
So we are dealing with a corrupt system here that wants to corrupt everything, including the dead.
Bernard, do you remember even the Rex story was the same scenario? When the mother came back, he found that the bullet was removed, but yet he had snapped the picture, the picture for the bullet.
So the more things change, the more they remain the same. And that's why we need an overhaul. Kenyans should not go for anything less than an overhaul. Let's drain the entirety of the swamp and get the country on the right track. The more we tolerate this, the more it becomes normal, and the better for the political class to think that they can normalize illegality, normalize losing of lives, normalize shooting to kill, and make it part and parcel of our existence, like in our neighboring countries, whereby it is normal. And now people have internalized and come to terms that they are not safe and they should live that way. I believe that's the main aim of the current administration, to break the spirit of Kenyans and let Kenyans accept to live on their knees because they have an incompetent government that wants to lead them backward instead of leading them forward. All these things need to be documented and put in accounts, so that the day of reckoning, it appears somebody must answer for this. There must be some consequences to some degree over what has gone down, especially with this administration. And then, of course, we are not exonerating the previous administration. whoever participated in taking a Kenyan life unnecessarily needs to answer for it. That's the only way we'll breathe life into our constitution and make the rule of law something that is a serious matter, not the jokes that we are being treated to by so-called law professors who have no respect for the law nor the constitution. We need to be in a Kenya that is governed predictably and according to the rule of law. That innocent chokora, that street family guy, knows that there is law that defends him in case is taken in or in case he has an issue with anybody. But if the law is only cited when it is supposed to defend Ruto and it's supposed to defend the ruling class, but it's only violated when it goes against the high and the mighty, but the rest of Kenyans are just there to be seen and not to be heard, that is unacceptable. So going forward, let us be more strict. Let's not get anybody off the hook, especially now that Kindiki and Murkomen are in the corner. Let the fire be intensified. Let somebody answer for this. If we have a few people leave office because of this, then the respect for life and the respect for Kenyans will be restored. But if we let this drop, we are doomed. I pray for the best. Thank you. See you when you see me.
Thank you, Bernard. Thank you for everyone that is watching. Please, I ask you, let us do what we agreed to do. We agreed that we will support the show, so let us do it. So, because right now, we haven't seen anybody responding, but I'll be happy when we respond towards it so that we can continue moving on swiftly together. I've been your host, Mike Shadizo, and I think I'll bring the play to the rest today, but we will continue with this discussion more and more and getting our nation to alignment, whereby we want everything to be on a standstill or an appropriate in a proper manner so that everything can go on smoothly. I don't have much, but to say that every time when you see something, know that somebody has committed to it. I'm your host tonight, Shadizo. Let us meet next time.
You've dreamed about the perfect wedding, the dress, the vows, the happily ever after. But let's ask the most important question. Before you say I do, are you truly ready for the lifelong commitment that comes after the honeymoon period fades? Bernard Ngozzi's groundbreaking ebook, Are You Marriage Ready?, is the ultimate guide to building a successful, lasting marriage. This isn't just another relationship book, it's a heart-to-heart conversation that prepares you for one of life's biggest decisions, getting married. Are you choosing love or just infatuation? Are you building a marriage or just planning a wedding day?
Reading this book was a game changer. I realized I wasn't as ready as I thought, but now I'm on the right path.
Don't wait until it's too late. Invest in your future. Download Are You Marriage Ready today. Link in the description below. Your future spouse deserves the best. Are you ready?